Welcome to Clear News Daily for Monday, May 4, 2026. Everything you hear is purely news and facts. We share no opinions and pass no judgment of any kind. Today we cover world news, news from the United States, tech and business, sports, and fun news. Let's get started. Now we turn to world news. We have two international stories today, one about an Iranian attack on a major UAE oil port in the Gulf, and one about Secretary of State Marco Rubio heading to Rome after a tense week in U.S.-Vatican relations. The UAE port that was struck handles a significant share of Gulf oil exports, making it a strategic target in the ongoing conflict. Attacks on oil infrastructure can cause short-term supply disruptions and price spikes on global markets. The ceasefire talks through Pakistan suggest both sides may be looking for a way to slow the conflict down, even as fighting continues. Pope Leo XIV is the first American-born pope, making the friction between Trump and the Vatican especially notable. Meloni has been one of the Trump administration's closest allies in Europe, so the public clash is a sign of how far the dispute has gone. Rubio's visit is likely an effort to smooth things over before the disagreement widens further. Now turning to news from the United States. We have two stories today, one about former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani being hospitalized in critical condition, and one about the U.S. Army running a cold weather training program in the Arctic. Giuliani has been dealing with a range of legal and financial troubles over the past few years, including court judgments against him and a disbarment from practicing law in New York. Pneumonia can be especially serious for older patients, and Giuliani is 80 years old. His spokesman's note that he is breathing on his own is an early positive sign, but his condition remains critical. The Arctic has become an increasingly important area for military planners as climate change opens new shipping lanes and exposes more resources in the far north. Training soldiers from warm weather states for extreme cold is a significant logistical challenge, since they may have little to no experience operating in those conditions. The program shows the military is taking its northern readiness seriously. Coming up is tech and business news. Today we have two stories. One about wind energy projects stalling across the U.S. after Pentagon review delays, and one about how the Iran war is pushing more people in developing countries to buy electric vehicles. The Pentagon reviews wind farm proposals because spinning turbines can interfere with military radar systems. Slowing those reviews gives the administration a way to hold up projects without directly banning them. The energy industry says the delays are adding months or years to project timelines and making it harder to meet growing demand for electricity. Fuel prices in many developing countries are closely tied to global oil markets, which have been volatile since the Iran war began. For families already stretched thin, a spike in gasoline costs can make the switch to an electric vehicle feel like a practical move rather than just an environmental one. Analysts say the trend could be a lasting shift in EV adoption patterns outside of wealthy nations. Now for sports. Today we have two NBA playoff stories, the Raptors and Cavaliers heading to a Game 7 after a wild overtime finish, and the Lakers gearing up to face the top-seeded Thunder in the Western Conference semifinals. RJ Barrett has been one of the Raptors' best players this postseason, and his shot to send the game to overtime and then win it at the buzzer is the kind of moment that defines a playoff run. The Cavaliers had a chance to close out the series at home but now have to regroup for a deciding Game 7. Fatigue is a real factor for both teams heading into a winner-take-all game. Oklahoma City finished the regular season as the top seed in the West and is seen as a heavy favorite in this matchup. The Thunder are young, fast, and deep, while the Lakers relied on strong performances from their veterans to get past Houston. The Lakers will need to find a way to slow down OKC's pace if they want to make it a competitive series. Here is a quick recap of everything we just covered. In world news, Iran struck a UAE oil port in the Gulf, and Secretary Rubio is heading to Rome after Trump clashed with the Pope and Italy's Prime Minister. In the United States, Rudy Giuliani is in the hospital in critical condition, and the Army is training soldiers for Arctic combat. In tech and business, over 150 wind projects are stalled by Pentagon delays, and the Iran war is driving EV sales in developing countries. In sports, the Raptors forced a Game 7 after a buzzer beater from R.J. Barrett, and the Lakers face Oklahoma City starting Tuesday. And here are some other stories making news today. Pirates seized an oil tanker near Yemen and steered it toward Somalia, the fourth hijacking in 2 weeks. A major study found school phone bans got devices out of kids' hands but have not yet improved behavior or grades. Russia has been luring men from African countries with job promises and sending them to fight in Ukraine. The 76ers came back from 3-1 down to beat the Celtics in Game 7, with Joel Embiid leading the way. The Oscars announced new rules banning AI-generated work and opening international film eligibility. Stephen Colbert announced his late-night show will end next month after 11 seasons. And the Met Gala took place in New York City today, with details still coming in. And that is a look at some of the other stories making news today. And now for some fun news. In Seguin, Texas, Animal Services and Public Works teamed up to rescue a kitten from inside a storm drain, and both departments deserve a round of applause for that one. Colorado Springs firefighters used a ladder truck to get a zonked-out bear safely down from a neighborhood tree and drove it 2 hours away for release. A Virginia man found a squirrel nursery inside his car engine, and an officer used squirrel sounds from her phone to bring the mother out. A 7-foot alligator tried to cross a busy Florida highway and was not pleased when deputies got involved. Firefighters in England rescued a chameleon named Mr. Peeps from a house fire, which is a sentence we did not expect to say today. And in Indiana, a deputy arrived to find chickens, turkeys, ducks, geese, and goats all loose in the road. And that is your fun news for today. Thank you for watching Clear News Daily for Monday, May 4, 2026. These summaries are shared for awareness to help you stay connected with what is happening around the world. Everything you heard today is purely news and facts with no opinions or judgments. Stay curious and stay informed. We will see you next time. That is a wrap for today. If you found these headlines useful, please like this video and subscribe to Clear News Daily for fresh headlines every day. Hit the bell so you never miss an update. See you next time.